All right. This is State of Mind. Sunday. If you like what you see, hit subscribe because, we want to get to 200,000. And then I'll throw a party with everyone. My wife's in the other room. She don't like that. It's going to be about 200,000 people. So I'm already getting a little bit emotional with who we have today. Damn. Might be tough. She is a consummate actress. Just the real deal. When I work with her, it's like, I can see this person just figuring it out, trying, and then putting up these incredible performances right in front of my eyes. Soap operas would not be what they are without her. Obviously, the couple, Luke and Laura. But aside from all those things that I just said, the accolades that she deserves, she's become a close friend of mine. And to me, that's more important than everything else. Her name is Genie Francis.
Maurice. You almost had me crying here right at the very beginning.
Well, it's all true.
Thank you.
It's great you're here. You're here for a reason that's very important. We'll get into that later, which I know is going to help. You have no idea how many people it's going to help. But what I want to do with you to begin with is just get into, when did you start acting?
I started acting when I went professionally, when I was 14 years old. Actually, I have my first permission to work slip that you get from the city. And I was 13 and a half when I got the slip. And I started working at 14. The first thing I did was a 2-part episode of a show called Family.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I played a nasty little bitch who was picking on Christy McNichol.
Really?
Yes.
You were 14?
I was 14.
And I'm thinking at 14, like, you got to be nervous or not.
I was nervous, but I knew I wanted to be an actor for quite some time. I'd been practicing in the mirror in the bathroom. I've been watching the Brady Bunch and going, I could do that. And
wow.
Right, exactly.
But that wasn't good acting. Some of them were.
I knew I could do it. And I often think that I am lucky to be where I am because of Maureen McCormick.
Yeah, she was great.
Who I look a bit like, and I was sort of like the poor man's Marcia Brady. I was highly commercial at that time. And I think that's part of the reason that the door just opened for me so quickly and so easily.
So you had an agent and the whole thing?
My father was an actor.
That's right.
And he had an agent, and he took a school picture of me and said, do you want to send her out? And this was after I got the braces off. And I began to work almost immediately. I got sent on an interview for, remember Sybil?
Yeah. With Patty Duke?
No.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Sally Field.
My favorite actress.
Sally Field. So Sally, did this wonderful thing called Sybil, which is about her having multiple personalities. And I interviewed to be one of the split personalities. And it was a big interview for some very highbrow folks, very important office. And I didn't even know I was going to do this, but I went into the office and they just sort of described, this is what's going on and this is what she's feeling and whatnot. And I came undone. And I wept and I cried and I screamed. I let it all out, man, because I had a fire in the belly at a very young age, and I let it out. And the casting director freaked out, and she's like, "Okay, that's great. We got it. Thank you." And and that was for CBS. And so CBS wanted me right from the beginning. And they said, "We're sorry, but you're blonde. And the star of our show, Sally Fields, is brunette, and we can't hire you. Do you understand why we can't?" And then, they were so kind to me. And then shortly thereafter, I got the audition to do the thing on CBS for, I believe that was CBS, to do Family.
Family, yeah.
And then shortly thereafter, I got an audition for General Hospital. And I just went to work.
But wait a minute. You were the voice of Betsy Ross.
I was the
Incredible Hulk.
Oh,
Weren't you?
Oh, when I did do some cartoon voicing for a minute or two. I can't even remember who I did. Betsy Ross. I remember the Hulk's girlfriend.
Yeah.
I was the Hulk's girlfriend for a minute or two. That was
a
a fun
voice.
time.
So it was just a
Voiceover acting. Yeah, I did a little bit of that. But that was not as a child. That was as an adult.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, well, we'll get into all the other.
Yeah.
So you got GH. How old were you when you got GH?
14.
See, yeah, 14.
14.
How can you manage all that at 14 years old?
I recently went to the studio, which is on the same lot where we shoot General Hospital now, where we shot the General Hospital when I was a little child. It's 51 is the stage. It was a very tiny little stage. It was open. Somebody was moving in or out. And I thought, I got to go in. And I walked into that sound stage and I thought to myself, it's so tiny. We used to set the sets up in the circle and we did it live. So I cut my teeth on live television.
Okay, wait a minute.
I did.
How is live? I don't know if I can do it. Genie.
It was terrifying, Maurice.
It's terrifying, right?
Oh, yes, it's terrifying. But, it's the kind of stuff that really trains you up. The hard part was that my father pulled me aside because my father was also an actor and did them live. And he said, "You can't make a mistake."
Yeah.
Now we'll come back to this later in the show.
Yes, of course.
But that was very profound for me. And I didn't make a mistake.
Son of a.
I knew that I couldn't, and I didn't.
You didn't go up once?
No.
Genie, how do you not go up once?
I was told by my father, "You can't make a mistake." I knew my lines and everyone else's. I was so prepared.
That's prepared. Well, if you're that prepared, you can. I just think the nerves. And I don't know where you fall into this, but with my nerves, I think it would be maybe too much.
Yeah. To be honest, it probably would be. I don't know how many live plays you've done.
Not many. Two.
Okay.
Two.
Okay. It's very similar to doing a live performance.
Yeah.
Which I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm going to throw up before I do one of those,
But it's more people watching on live TV.
Yes. It was crazy. It was really crazy. But so it started there, and I went into the studio, and I could just see that little girl running around, and I thanked that little girl for her bravery. Yeah. And I thanked her for the wonderful life that I have today, because it was that little child's bravery that set me up. Now, this is before Gloria Monty was there. I think it was about 6 months later, Gloria Monty came on, and Gloria Monty had a vision. She said she was tough. Oh, yes, correct. She said we were pioneers in daytime and we were going to change the face of daytime, and she did. And she took my father to dinner and she said, "And I'm going to use your daughter to do it."
Okay.
Okay, we'll come back to this.
Yeah,
later.
yeah. Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
circle back.
Yeah, but
Yeah. So,
right.
anyways, what I'd like to say, because I think this is a part that no one can conceive of
okay.
with me, is the fact that I was completely separated, completely from my peer group in my formative years. So at 14 years old, first 6 months, I went back and forth to school, and I went from straight A's to failing. I failed a couple. I failed sewing to this day. I don't want to sew to this day. So they put me into full-time studio school, which meant even on a day off, I went to the studio to do school.
Wow.
Because I went to General Hospital High School. So in ninth grade, when I was working, I was in middle school, and I went back and forth, grades fell. I never set foot in a high school.
Wow.
Never.
Do you regret that?
Deeply.
Deeply, yes. Because
I have nightmares about it to this day.
Yeah.
It's very much and the way I can explain this best, I tried to do it to a group of people before, and I think it helped, is that if you take a 14-year-old child and you put that 14-year-old child in a jar, close up the jar, kid's well taken care of and they're fed, whatever, but there's no contact with any of the outside world or their peer group. You leave them there for 5 years. When you take the lid off, you pull out a 19-year-old whose body has matured to that place of looking 19 years old. But socially, emotionally, you're still taking out a 14-year-old child. So all children who are, not most children, I'd say, work in the business, suffer from some form of arrested development. Yeah. It took me years to figure this out. I'm 63, and I'm looking back on it. You know, now things are still coming to me. Not kidding.
Of course.
And I certainly would never, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it to any parent to put their child on television. I just don't.
Right.
Maybe if a teeny tiny child, you know, when they don't know any better, but when it comes to your developmental years, when you're going to start dating and figuring out where you are socially in the world, what group do I fit into, which clique is me, they have to do that, or they will be a broken person.
But it's amazing that you regret something that you don't really know what it is, like, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You don't. Maybe it might have been bad, you know, going.
I could have been spared. There's absolutely no question.
Right.
I could have been spared.
I have to be honest. My senior year in high school, I was treated like Sonny in high school.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
I used to
Maurice.
beat up people if they're bullies. I used to beat them up.
Oh my God, you were Fonzie then.
Fonzie. And I had a cool car, I had a girlfriend, and I could do whatever I wanted. I didn't learn anything in high school.
You didn't learn anything?
No. I cheated my whole way through, and I got caught. It was embarrassing.
Wow.
But for me, it was great. But maybe for some other people, it might not be good. And you don't know what yours would have been.
I don't know what mine would have been. And you found your power in that moment.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah. And Genie, with that at 18, there may have been signs of being bipolar.
Oh.
But we did not know, because at that time, nobody knew.
Right.
Even when I got diagnosed, put into a mental institution at 21, my birthday in there at 22, they didn't tell me what I had for months.
Right.
Because they didn't know. It was different now.
It's different.
Uh,
They didn't know I was dyslexic. I was just the stupid kid.
Yeah, exactly. But I think things are different now,
They are.
and it's better, and it can get better, even better. But it's good. So you start on GH. There was no way of knowing that the wedding you had was going to be 30 million people watching. And did you have an inkling before that this is going to be something?
Hmm. I think the first awareness that I had, I remember it very clearly. I was riding my bike in the neighborhood. And I went on Burbank Boulevard, which I'm not really supposed to go, but I went. I think I was near 15 and a half, 16.
Right.
And I saw a car go past me, and the people in the car recognized me and started to point.
Oh.
And I went, my plan is working.
Wow.
I'm becoming famous.
Famous.
Yes, because I used to love to watch my dad get asked
yeah.
for an autograph. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And so, I did want to be famous, but I was a child. I didn't know what all that
I can't
entailed.
believe it.
Right. And I didn't know what I was trading off to become famous. Children don't know. They don't get consequences.
No.
No,
So you just kind of went along with the ride.
I did. Yeah. But I for sure had fire in the belly. I know you know what that is.
Yes.
And Gloria recognized that, and she wanted to get my peer group to watch. And so she took my father to dinner and said, can I do this? I'm going to use your daughter. And I was chomping at the bit. Yes, yes, yes. And my father acquiesced to that, and he said yes, too. Of course, I was thrilled because I had the opportunity then to prove myself as an actor, which is all I wanted to do. And
So that's amazing that you're kind of like me. You just wanted to, although my ego got me out of control, but you wanted to just be a great actress, and I
did.
wanted to be a great actor.
right, and you are.
Thank you. But that's what
Are.
that's how it. But that's cool that that's in our mind. Not, I just want to be famous or I want the money. It was about the acting first.
It was about the acting. I knew I could do it really well.
Damn.
And I knew it. It wasn't that I wanted to. It was that I knew it.
Wow. At that age?
Yeah. And younger. Yeah. I knew. I knew who I was. I knew what I was going to do. It was just a matter of making it happen.
Well, this is interesting conversation, man. And you don't have to answer it yet because I know we're going to get into stuff later. But I know for me, but I'm going to ask you first. Was any of that wanting to get back at something? That just came to me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I know what you mean. What I like to say, it's not my quote, I'm not sure whose it is.
Right.
The unlicked cub goes into show business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Notice me. Look at me.
Yeah.
Do I matter?
Exactly. Exactly.
Look at me. Please look at me.
But you also have to be born from up above with some sensitivity, some emotions, some talent, so, and then you work on your skills because you can want to get back at something but not have anything to back it up.
Right.
We both had that other stuff, so we're kind of equal in that way.
Yeah, were you the unlicked cub?
Well, I wasn't. My mom, no, but when I got into this gets me a little weird.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. When I got into modeling, I was very unsuccessful because I was.
But you're gorgeous.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I shouldn't say yeah. My wife's gonna go, honey.
Yeah,
Why'd
of
you
course
say yeah? Well, hell yeah, I am, baby. No, but you can't buy 3 inches on your height, So I failed miserably in that, and then I got into acting, and what I wanted to get back at was all the people who didn't believe in me. There was many, and I would know in my hometown when you're in a small town, and you want to be an actor, it'd be like, good luck. You failed as a model, and then from there, because of that pressure, I had a breakdown. So then I really wasn't going to do it. But you know what? I kept going. and I'm going to get back at you sons of bitches. And I did.
Right. And that's another thing we have in common because no matter what's happened to me in life, I keep going.
I know, man. I mean, we're going down a road right now that I was going to go into it later, but this is good. But don't you, Genie, at times feel like, here's what I say. I've been doing really great in the last 4 months. It's been amazing. But when I go through like a thing, a breakdown or whatever I go through that's tough, it's like I ask God, I mean, again? What? I haven't been through enough? And the answer that I've come up with to help me, whether it's true or not, is I think God wanted me to suffer to prevent other people from suffering.
I agree.
And that's my way of feeling like it's meant for something as opposed to me just going through this over and over and over again. All right.
He wanted to use you.
Yes.
I
That's
agree.
kind of the thing. Okay, so all right.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what are we doing? Are we just these ego-filled,
I
silly,
know.
collecting money to go play, pretend, and
Right.
like make us pretty? And what is our use? Doctors heal people, firefighters save people. What is our use? We have a use, and I think that's it.
Yes. Yes. The whole shebang that I've gone through in the last 30 years is that. And let's get back into some other. So, I think we can get through. That was enough of the 70s. Oh, what I wanted to ask you. Has the acting changed from the 70s to now?
When you say has the acting changed?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Yeah, well, because there's a lot of ways to look at it. The show and the way they do it, and the acting, the style of acting,
Yes.
for sure has changed.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
That's what you're asking.
Yes.
Okay, it was much more pumped up and histrionic in the 70s,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
And now we favor a more realistic, fly on the wall performance,
Exactly.
which I love.
Which is the best.
Right, it's the best.
So how was it doing it that way, the old way?
The old way, it was very frustrating because you would get notes like "cry more,"
Oh my.
which you never say to an actor.
No.
Never.
No.
But you would get that note. I used to get the note all the time. Think 25. You're whining. I had no idea I whined, but apparently at 14 I whined.
Wow.
And I used to get that note a lot.
But it changed.
Big time.
30 years ago, I came on. I was not going to give in to any notes that made me do anything bigger than I wanted.
And my father would be so proud of you right now.
Yeah,
My father used to say, some directors are just traffic cops. They will give you bad acting notes. Let it go in one ear and out the other. So, I mean, he empowered me,
yeah.
right?
Because otherwise, we ruin our acting.
For sure.
Now, we don't have to be, I think with me, I took it to another where I would get too upset or this or that. And I've learned now that you can get the same thing across without having to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because ultimately, what somebody told me, my therapist from Paris, he says, "Why are you yelling at people?" I said, "Because I get what I want." He goes, "But you're hurting people and you're hurting yourself." I mean, what do you mean I'm hurting myself? Well, I mean, your anxiety is
Transfers onto
yeah,
others. Yeah.
and you just get that energy. You shouldn't do that. And that's when I kind of figured out how not to.
Right.
So it's,
Good therapist.
yeah, he's a good therapist.
Yeah.
Well, Why don't we get into? Is it North? Was it North and South?
North and South. The miniseries that I did.
Yeah, you worked with Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie.
How was she?
She's the
She
reason.
was young.
Oh, she was young and so funny, and she was the ringleader. Everything you'd expect her to be, she was.
Yeah.
She used to say, girls were moosing their hair at that time, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. She said, girlfriend, you can't get enough mousse in your hair. And she yeah, with this mousse and blow dry me and stuff like that. And she's the reason that Jonathan and I got together.
Yeah, you met him there?
No, we had worked together before that, but I was too young.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so when we worked together at North and South, we were both single. And well, yeah. And so that's when we fell in love. A lot of people met and fell in love.
Was it love at first sight?
No, because the first time I saw him, I liked him and I thought he was cute and funny when I worked with him on the first show I did. He teased me a lot. So I always felt comfortable with Jonathan. You know, the first thing I did was Bare Essence, a miniseries.
Oh yeah, right.
And so everybody was treating me like I was the star. And so you don't get talked to, or you don't get welcomed in as much. People are afraid of the star. And they are.
Yeah.
And so Jonathan always made fun of me. Like he used to say to me, your wig looks good today, Miss Francis.
Wow.
Yeah. And on North and South, you know, the girls all had their boobs all pushed up in these, you know, antebellum, you know, whatever, these outfits. And the guys were like nervous, like, oh my God, the boobs are so on display. They're like trying not to look at the boobs because the boobs are everywhere. They're all out on display. And Jonathan came over to me and he looked right down at my boobs and he said, nice tits, baby. Like, I love this guy.
Wow.
I love this guy. He's just so honest.
Now, let me ask you just a kind of a silly question. Paula was 16 when I met her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was 21.
Mm-hmm.
I stood her up.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went and asked her out a year later. I figured she's 17 now. I could go out with her. It doesn't really matter if 16, 17. But this is true. When she came to my house, my mom and dad's house, and you know, we were making out and stuff. And I never forget when I kissed her goodbye that her kiss was just amazing. Was your kiss with Jonathan that way?
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I think because we had such a long period of time where we were both secretly longing for each other.
Yeah.
Because I was confiding in Kirstie that I had a little crush. And I didn't know this, but also Mambo King, as she called him, Jonathan, was confiding in her that he had a little crush.
Ah.
And so eventually she said, you know, if you made a move on her, it might not necessarily go the wrong way. And I was so mad because, again, I was the 14-year-old who came out of the jar, and I'm like, you told him. And at this time I was 22, right? But I was like so embarrassed. I didn't want him to know that I had a crush on him. And like, yeah. Anyway, she told him, and then I was mad at her. But then, you know, he did ask me out.
Damn.
But she's the reason, because I think we probably never would have gotten together had she not intervened.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into more of that a little later. But you did Young and the Restless?
I did Young and the Restless. I worked with Peter Bergman, another
wonderful actor.
one of the greats.
Yes. I worked with him on All My Children.
Mm-hmm.
And you did All My Children too.
I did All My Children. Loved that job. That was so much fun to me. Yes, because I was in New York and I was there because I wanted to grow as an actress, and they let me do theater, and they let me audition.
Oh, I get it.
So they gave me the good stuff, and they knew I wanted to prove myself, and they gave me a wonderful story. I love that job.
Do you work with Susan?
A little bit with Susan, not a lot. She was delightful.
Yeah.
I call her Miss Thing because she is.
Yes, she is. She is.
And she knows she likes being called Miss Thing.
Yeah.
She's great. She's a lovely lady. I was lucky to have that job. But, David Canary, amazing people, amazing people. And they all pushed you a little further, a little further. Michael Knight, um,
Michael's funny as hell.
he's the best
He's funny as hell.
and
It-
so talented,
So talented.
right?
Yes, because I was okay, here's the deal. I was sick at home at 14 years old. There's 2 soaps that I watched that I ended up being on.
Oh my gosh.
GH and All My Children. All My Children was my first job.
Oh, wow.
And it was Luke and Laura, you guys are what I was like, this shit is cool. As a 14-year-old. I didn't know about acting, really.
Oh, so you were watching it while it was happening.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
This was, how many freaking years ago? And I was watching you and him and doing things and that. I'm like, wow. And then I watched All My Children and Tad. Michael Knight played Tad.
amazing.
And I was like, this is the coolest. Both. And then both I've been on.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
How
Now,
funny.
All My Children was my first gig coming off the mental institution. And it was good, except they just didn't let me act.
Hmm.
They would be like, why are you putting your hand on your face? I said, because people, they do that.
People do that.
Yeah. Why are you talking so low? I can't hear you. It just all the time. So I was never really 100% comfortable. And then I got to GH, and I said to Wendy Rich, just don't ever tell me to talk louder. First day, it's Joe Behar.
And he said, could you speak louder?
Yes, in a nightclub. He's like, could you
Right.
speak loud? I said, I took pause.
This was in my contract.
I didn't do it. He said it again. We still can't hear you. I said, not doing it. And I haven't done it since.
Wow.
And I needed that. I needed that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Where do we go from here? Let's talk about when I first started. You came on like about, I don't know, a year.
After you started at
Yeah.
GH, I was like 31 at that point.
Yeah,
That was returning. Luke and Laura return.
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget, first day I worked with Tony, and in rehearsal, he grabbed my arm. It's not in the script. And I said, this motherfucker grabbed my arm. and I said to myself, okay, in tape, I'm not gonna let him grab my arm. Now, I'm nervous. Jeannie, most people don't believe me, but I'm fucking nervous when I'm acting.
Right.
Not now.
Not now.
We'll get into us
Yeah.
with you now because we're so close. And now, but I'll tell you. So I did the tape with him. He grabbed my arm, and I took his arm, and I pulled it out. I said, "Don't do that."
I like it.
He liked it.
Of course he did.
He said, that's when I knew you were not to be fucked with,
Right.
He didn't say it like that, but that's how I say it.
Right.
So then I worked with you. You have no idea how nervous and scared I was.
No, I don't.
No, because I could fake it, but
You can so fake it.
I was all the time I worked with you.
How weird. Well, I had no idea that you were watching the original Luke and Laura.
Yeah, that
stuff.
too, yeah. But every time we work together, I'm fucking nervous. But I prepare, so I'm gonna be good.
Yeah.
But with Tony, I wasn't because we'd been working together for so long. But yeah, I was terrified, inside nervous. We do scenes.
funny.
I'm like, I get the script. I'm like, oh shit.
How funny. I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea.
You didn't have, because I wasn't gonna let you have any idea,
Yeah. And you were right.
right? Because my you know, I'm an open book, obviously, but my feeling is, if I tell someone, oh shit, now we're gonna get into this shit, but this is true shit, and it's the same thing that you're talking about. If I, in the last year, let's say, there's been days where I'm so fucked up mentally.
In
Mentally.
the last year?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Completely. But I couldn't. Somebody said to me, well, you need to tell the actors that you're in a bed. I said, no, because they'll, it's like a secret
Yeah.
that I can't let out, my weakness.
Yeah.
But they know, because I've talked to many,
Mhm.
and they say they can tell, because what happens when I'm in that state of mind, I look down a lot.
Do you?
Yeah, because I don't want you to see what's in my eyes.
What's going on? Right.
Now, we'll get into our shit, but
Wow.
we're just rolling in this motherfucker.
Roll through.
Were you there with Frank came?
Frank was there when I came back this time around. Now, Tony stayed on the show for about
Yeah,
14 years without me.
He retired, right?
Then he retired. When he retired, I was there a little bit for the crossover, but once he fully retired, then they really brought me back and they reestablished Laura.
So you weren't there when Frank first came, because when Frank first came, you know, we were all scared of losing our jobs,
Yes, everybody is. It's a duck and cover time. And you
right?
get a new producer.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm like, we're just like, well, two are down,
Right.
we're next. But he came in and, you know, 57 Emmys later, you know, he's doing his job, doing great.
Yeah.
But it was scary there for a while.
I'm quite sure that it was.
Yeah, it's not good to.
Who was producing before Frank?
Jill Phelps. That period was cool. It was
Okay.
more mob related,
Okay.
and they did, you know, the way it's. And then before that was Wendy Rich.
Oh.
You were brought in with Wendy Rich, am I right?
I was brought in with Wendy Rich.
Yeah. And that's when I first started.
Okay.
So Sonny Brenda.
So many years, Maurice.
I know, but let me tell you something. They don't do couples anymore.
They don't.
I mean, if you think about that time when you came back,
Mhm.
and I just started. Sonny Brenda, Luke and Laura, Lois and Ned,
Mhm.
Jason and Robin.
Right.
You can just keep. Couples were the thing. Now they're not doing as many. I don't know why.
Do you think the pandemic changed it because of intimacy and
Maybe, but yeah, I mean, it could be. But I think I truly believe. I'm not. Look, I don't question anybody how they're doing their jobs, but they should get back to couples. I think that's what helps.
helps it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, since you brought up the pandemic,
Mhm.
that's something I wanted to talk to you about, because I don't really talk about it. I should have been talking about it more on State of Mind, but I don't. But with you, how was it in the pandemic?
The pandemic for me was the promised land.
Son of a lot of people, not me, but wow.
I loved it because of the social anxiety that I have, the guilt about my social anxiety, or the worrying about if I don't show up and how are they going to think about it? It was all the pressure was off. Nobody was getting together. And it was this wonderful peace.
Damn. And who was in the house?
My daughter, her boyfriend, me, and my husband.
Wow.
Yep.
And you just hung out, had a good time, did what
I loved it. I loved it. Now, not to say that I wasn't scared about the pandemic.
No, I get it.
I was. And I was washing the groceries as they came in and doing all that kind of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
right? I
yeah.
was very scared. And when we first went out in the car together, I'd get this feeling like I was short of breath. The anxiety would come over me.
Wow.
I know.
But it didn't. It didn't get you.
No, I mean, what I told myself was, okay, if I go back home and I paint or something, because I lose myself in an activity, um, if I still can't breathe, then I might have COVID. But I do that, and I was breathing just fine.
Wow.
So it was anxiety.
Well, I'm not going to bore the audience with things I've already talked about so many times, but for me, the pandemic was maybe the closest to not being here that I've ever been.
Hmm,
For 4 months, it was horrific.
really?
Now, my family, they're partying, they're having the greatest time playing basketball. Everything's going great.
Yeah.
I'm in my room, just just completely gone.
Really?
But I had to go out. I couldn't hide from. I try to hide what I go through from my kids because I never wanted them to see that. But during the pandemic, you can't hide. So we had to eat in the house all together, so they'd see me walking to the table, and I was in. So it was just the work, and I had a. The whole thing was bad. I had a book coming out, and now I can't tour. I can't. You can't celebrate the book that's successful.
Oh, so you couldn't go to any of the openings
No,
for the book or any?
nothing. No, no.
Oh,
And I was just like, and then the book, not to brag, but the book got New York Times bestseller. Okay, no, can't 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 party. You can't do anything. You just got to sit in the house, and
right.
you got great book, and that's it.
So you felt very cut off.
Yeah, very cut off.
Mhm.
But got through it, and after that, like I tell people who are watching, no matter what you're feeling, no matter what you're going through, when you think you can't go on, you can, because it's not impossible. It's possible. After the pandemic, I succeeded like there's no tomorrow when I felt that there's no way I'm going another day.
Mm.
And that's the key. You got to keep going.
Mhm.
So, what I'm going to say, I'm going to give you some names. You just whatever you feel, whatever you. Tristan Rogers.
Delightful. So talented. So much. A very bright star, brighter than where he landed. He deserved to land
Yeah.
in the movies.
Yeah.
He did.
Leslie Charleson.
Sweet, warm. My first time ever in live television having the other actor go up was with Leslie Charleson. And watching the terror in her eyes as she forgot her line, and I knew she forgot her line, and knowing that we were live and we couldn't stop, and negotiating my way through trying to feed her lines and bring her back and all this sort of thing. Absolutely terrifying. When the scene ended, she wept and we held each other and I cried. Went home to my mother and I cried in my mother's lap. It was utterly terrifying. There we go.
Wow, man. That's amazing. Jackie Zeman.
Jackie Zeman. I loved her so much. And I was so afraid when she asked me to go out for lunch or to do something. I was so afraid. I had this weird, abnormal fear of somebody I really kind of, she was like on a pedestal, but she was like a big sister.
Yeah.
Like she was the cool big sister. I wanted
Yeah.
to be like her. And, that social anxiety, it was so, I yearned to be close to Jackie, but I was also, my my thing came up, and I was scared of.
Yeah.
And at some point, she stopped asking.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
and that's my thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Missed opportunity.
yeah. Yes. Um, Tyler Christopher.
A beautiful angel. So beautiful and so vulnerable.
Yeah.
Is not equipped to live in this world.
No.
Not equipped. So vulnerable, so pure. He couldn't live in this dirty place.
No. You know, it's funny. All these people we're talking about, I didn't know them until they did State of Mind.
Oh, really?
I didn't talk to Leslie or Tristan, nobody.
Mhm.
They come in here for an hour and I know them because
Right.
they tell me about, Leslie told me about suicide. It was amazing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, some suicide in there. And then Jackie told me about all her stuff. And I was like, wow, I mean, these people are beautiful. And
Great people.
I just didn't know them, right? And Tyler, I wasn't close to him until the last a year or two of his life, and I got close with him, and the last time that I saw him, so talented. This is a guy who won an Emmy, and 2 years later he was homeless. I mean, he told the story on State of Mind. It's incredible story how he was sleeping on a bench, and my wife says one day, "Can you pick up Tyler in Burbank?" I said, "How am I going to find Tyler in Burbank?" "Just go, honey." So I can't find him. And then I see him in the Starbucks. He's wasted. I take him. He's fallen down. It's the first time I've seen him drunk because I know he was drinking 1.5 gallons of vodka a day.
Oh, God.
Genie, that's amazing.
I know.
So I take him home. Next day he goes, "I lost my wallet. I lost my laptop." We go look for it. I'm going to drop him off. We're talking. I said, "You got to take care of your kids, Ty." "Yeah, I know. So I said bye to him. I kissed him on the cheek. I don't do that. But something told me. I kissed him on the cheek. And I said, "I'll see you later." And he left. I think he said, "I love you." And I just started crying, and I knew that was it, and it was.
And that was it.
Yeah. It's
I
tough.
know some people don't make it to recovery.
No,
I know. And sadly, he was one that
couldn't do it. And that's a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, when you're mentally ill and you drink
Yeah.
or drugs,
Not supposed to do that.
you're in big, it's not going to end well.
Nope.
I mean, I know how hard it's been for me without drinking or drugs.
Mhm.
If I added that on top of it, it's not good.
Mm-mm.
So, how do you feel about the stigma of soaps people have on soaps?
I think the stigma is less and less about us.
Yes.
Yes, with people like, Bryan Cranston
Yeah.
embracing it and saying it was the most wonderful training ground.
Yes.
So I think it's disappearing. I think there are enough actors, film actors who've tried to do it and can't. I think it's lost a lot of that. I think also people very often cannot tell the difference between bad writing and bad acting. They
Right.
can't.
That's
You have to
good.
have a very discerning eye to be
Yeah.
able to see that.
Yeah.
Sadly, some people are very, very, they make them stick right to the dialogue, whether you had a good dialogue writer that day or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeannie, I've gotten upset where I go in and do 3-page monologue. Okay?
Yeah.
And I wasn't having a great day mentally, but that's not their fault. It's my fault. And I kicked ass, but I didn't say this word. Okay. And then I said, my insides were like, do it again. They stop it.
Because of a word?
Couple words, whatever it was,
Oh.
but it didn't really make it. It's not like I said girl instead of boy or
Right.
right. So I just blew the fuck off the phone.
Oh.
And I said, "Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Do you want me to act well, or do you want me to just stick to the words?
Right.
Because if you want me to stick to the words, you're not going to get the performance."
Right.
And then I did my whole shit. But it's not fair sometimes.
It is not.
With as much as we have.
With as much as we have, and with as much now that is expected of us, because it's more difficult now than it's ever been. Even when it was live, it's harder now, because now, I mean, there are days,
There's
right?
no takes,
and there's no rehearsal time, and we'll shoot 3 or 4 episodes in one day. You'll be on set for 20 consecutive scenes of emotional stuff.
Right.
That's like a marathon.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
These things never happened before. So now it's harder than it ever was.
Yes. All right, let's get into Jonathan. I want to talk about Jonathan, because Jonathan's my man. We already talked about how you met him and the whole thing, and then you started, going out with him, and he's just Jonathan's like, for me, he's a fucking good guy,
He's a really good guy.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. And people just love Jonathan. He's a director.
Yeah.
And
I know, talented director with Star Trek, The Next Generation, the whole shebang.
He's like the Pied Piper. Everybody wants to follow him.
Yeah.
And interestingly, that's one of the reasons that attracted me to him, was that he had this incredible social ease, and he was just, everybody loved him. And I knew I was so lacking in that area that I felt like, well, if I was with him, it'd be okay.
But was it?
Well, yes. I mean, my life became immeasurably better. There's no question.
Yeah.
But also, that thing that I have,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was something that, it was a journey in our marriage, because
Oh.
I had that social anxiety. He's super social and wanted to do something all the time. He can't say no. And I need a certain amount of quiet downtime. So it was an issue. And he used to make me go to like all these events. And I'd be like,
But that's the way you do help that.
is to make yourself go.
Yeah. I know it doesn't feel, but I asked Dr.
Yeah.
Drew the same question.
Yeah.
I said, I haven't been on a plane in 10 years, man. Now I
Wow.
fly because I got hypnosis. It's great.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it worked. I said, but I can't, and when I get on, I've gotten off 2 planes.
Yeah.
I said, do you have an answer? He goes, I have the same thing. I said, okay, well, but you just got to keep getting on.
Yeah, I think it changed quite a bit when Jonathan, I started to talk about it with him, and when I first realized that I had something that was not just my tendency or my personality, but something that was it. First of all, I realized it ran in my family. My mom, when I was a kid, had this thing.
Mm.
Very bad case of it. I remember one day she took us all out to the grocery store. My father was out working, so all the kids at the grocery store with mom. And I'm watching my mom in the aisle, and she was fine. She's looking for things. And then all of a sudden, I could see in her body language the change.
Mm.
I could see the panic take her over, and I knew that she was going to say that we had to all run home. and we had to quickly get out of there. I knew what was coming, but I got to watch this whole thing happen. And she did, and she whisked us out of there, and we went running home, whether she finished the list or not. So I knew my mother suffered, and I felt so sorry for her. Before she died, I told her about this when I was a kid watching her. And she said, yes, I had that all my life. And I mean, I didn't know if it was agoraphobia, fear of leaving the house, or I didn't, there's so many different illnesses that you could put a label on, but the symptoms overlap, right?
Mhm.
So what do we call this? Then I found out I have another family member, because I have come from a huge family, who suffers so greatly that this person is not able to leave her home, basically.
Mm.
And it shocked me because this woman was the star of our family.
Wow.
She was she was a very professional person, very successful person. So I knew that was something that was going on in the family. And when I talked to my mother about this, I said, was there anybody in your family, Mom, who had this? And she said that her grandmother, my great-grandmother, who pretty much raised her, would always go to her room and close herself in the room if my grandparents had people over to the house. She would just go and close herself in her room. And my mother, a tiny child, asked her grandmother, why do you do that? And she said, well, because I don't want to interfere with their lives. And my mom said, but I knew that wasn't the truth.
Mm.
So my mom knew that grandmother had it. My mother had it. I have another family member that I know. And if I searched through all of the family, I'm sure I'd find more sufferers, and I know it's in me. And the good thing about knowing that is that it gives me a little bit more forgiveness for myself.
Yeah, but especially in the height of your fame, which I don't think I know anyone that's been at that level of fame. You had you had it then? Social.
Okay, well, I suppose I did. See, my teenage years are just a blur. It's
Oh,
so abnormal what was going on with me. And
because that's horrible.
right. But if you think about it, I didn't have to be Genie. I'm saying I have this anxiety when I have to be Genie. When I have to be Laura or any other part I'm playing, I'm absolutely fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because my professionalism, it supersedes, and
But
I show up.
Jeannie, the anxiety that you have inside you when you act, it's still there, right? Or you're able to kind of
No, when I'm working, it's another part of my brain.
damn.
And it's not active. It is not a part of me. It doesn't come into my work.
Damn.
It doesn't.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing.
I can leave it behind
That's
to
amazing.
do what I do as an actor, because I don't have to be Genie. I'm not Genie at that moment.
Wow.
But the first time I ever remember happening, I think I was in middle school, and we had to do like oral reports, and I lost my voice. I was so scared. And I started out being able to talk, and as I went on, I lost my voice. And I could hear one of the kids sitting down front say, oh my God, you guys, she's mouthing it to Miss Brown.
That's amazing.
But that's me. That's me being Genie.
I get it. I get it. You know what I want to get into is just because we've been working together quite a lot, and it's funny. More than one person has said that you're like my girlfriend, but not girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that kind of thing, and I love working with you. It's obvious. And I love the story we're in. I've even been watching mobster documentaries, and I'm getting this thing back,
Yeah.
And since you and I have been hooking up, it's fun to go to work. It's great to go to work. Tell me what you think about the storyline.
I love this story that they have given us. They asked me one day, I think ABC asked me, what is it that you really wanted of all the things? What was the one thing that you would like to have for Laura? And I said, I want a story with Maurice Benard. I did.
That's amazing.
And and then from that, they put together this brilliant story that I'm loving so much. And they knew how much I wanted to work with you. And I said, there's all kinds of loves. There's all kinds of love stories.
Yeah.
They're not all romantic.
No.
But, you know, you have really close relationships with people. And I think that there's a chemistry there with us. So I wanted them to write that.
Yeah, it's well written. There's layers and there's textures,
Yes.
and you know, I think for me that's kind of what I love to do. Is, you know, I can look at you and say I love you, but underneath I'm saying I want to kill you.
Right.
You know, as opposed to just I love you. It just gets that gets, and we did a scene. Maybe a week and a half ago. First of all, I fucked up my lines. I forgot my lines, but they came back, and you were so filled up and on fire that I was like almost scared, but I wasn't mentally in a bad place at all. So I'm like, I'll just stay in it and look at her and get her attention, and then we're gonna keep going on these scenes. But what you and I are doing, and you know, Genie, we've worked together before, but I can't wait to see, because I like when I first start working with someone, like if I work with Jonathan Frakes, I need to see if what I'm doing is really working like I think it is, and then I let it go. I don't need to watch anymore. But you were just, and even the last time we worked, we were both on the same page, because I said, did you notice? And you're like, we were really talking to each other. But there's talking, and then there's really talking.
And we really talk. And I think that that's because Genie and Maurice really talk.
Yeah.
And there's an unspoken thing there that I say, I use the text with other words too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in this scene that we're talking about, both of us left the text and came back because we went with the life of the scene and the life of the emotion. You were so 100% in the moment and so 100% focusing.
Yeah.
And I've talked to you about my stuff before.
Yes.
And in that scene, I was worried about what's going to be my way into this scene, because they did the last scene first, which I hate. And I realized that my way in to that scene was about trauma. I've had trauma in my life. I've relived trauma in my life, and I know what happens. I'll tell it very quickly. It was summer. We're with our kids and we're at the lake, and every family's at the picnic table, and I'm standing there, and I want to go to the picnic table with the family, and I want to talk to the family, but I can't. I'm frozen. I can't get to the picnic table. Let's talk to the shrink. Shrink says, Genie, that's trauma. And I realized the moment when I was lost as a child, brought into this house where the people were all drunk, and I was a tiny kid, and they were sitting at a picnic table, just looked like everybody's laughing and having a great time at the picnic table. And I couldn't talk to them because I was about 2.5 years old. And that frozen moment of, I want to go home and I can't get home. I relived the trauma. So long story short, I tried to tell you in that scene about my trauma, and you heard me.
Yeah, yeah.
You heard me, and you're like, okay, stay with me. It's, you know, when I've told you of my other stuff, when my depression hits and whatnot. And I was telling you about, I heard call the police, but that I just got frozen. I was telling you about my trauma, and you got it.
Yeah, I got it completely, yeah.
And you were right there with me, supporting me like Genie. It was Genie and Maurice.
Yeah, completely. Completely.
And I've never had anybody support me or hear me so fully like that
Yeah.
and go with me. So it was the most exciting scene I've ever done in my life.
Damn.
About that.
Well, I don't know. That sounds great.
Yeah.
No, it was powerful, but we're gonna get more. Remember, and I think I wrote to you that, and I mean this, and I don't mean this in a cheesy way, but I usually when I predict things, a lot of times they do come true, and I'd love to see you win an Emmy.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I forget just me being there for you,
Yeah.
and then you can win is amazing. And I think
It's
from what I've seen in 2 weeks, not that it's the end all, because it's not.
I won once as Best Supporting Actress for a short 6-week visit that I did for Jill Farron
Yeah.
Phelps. And that's it. But as far as Best Actress, it has been a closeout for 49 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not, that's unheard of.
And when I was a kid, how do you compare an 18-year-old girl to a 40-year-old woman who are in the same category, But that was a very hard thing for me when Tony was nominated when I was a kid, and I was
Yeah.
not. I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
And then they added the category Best Younger Actress after that with me.
Ah.